For Twitch Rivals, the Control Plus extension does like scoreboards and stuff, so you can actually see. And sometimes they run polls like, "Who's your favorite player in this game?" And then you can vote on them via that extension if that interests you. Okay, I don't know what the heck is happening. This game, Trackmania, it takes complete control of all of your display settings. So just give me a second to make sure I got this all set up appropriately. It crashed, which is pretty sweet. It has uncrashed, but is now operating in a tiny window that is not even close to the size of my whole monitor, but it has no borders on it. Okay, hold on. Hold on. This display device default, that's fine. Let's do windowed borderless, because every game should always do windowed borderless. Dude, it's gonna be so nice on this spanking new monitor. Oh my god. I'm gonna feel like I'm inside of the car, even though the camera is outside of the car. Live. This is Trackmania winter season any % world record attempts. And it's not wrong, really. It's not a lie. I am attempting to get the world record. The odds of me completing it are probably quite low, though, I'll admit. When you think about it. Glad you had to stop and think about it. Okay, oh my god. I'm glowing here. Solo. We haven't done the winter tracks yet. We haven't done the autumn tracks yet. For that matter. Winter just started today? Oh, baby. Perfect timing. I will play against opponents for now. Track of the day to you laddies. When was the last time I played Trackmania? It must have been September. Okay, not that way then. Just chilling, just pogging. We're just learning the track. Just learning the track. You haven't played all year? Good one. There's a lot of stuff I haven't done this year. You know what the hardest part of this new 11 to 4 p.m. schedule is going to be? Is figuring out when to eat lunch. Like, am I going to become one of those freaks who eats lunch at 10:40 a.m.? Like, I think it's the only way. It's either that or I eat it on stream, or I eat it at 4. What did I eat today? I had a granola bar at like 10:55. And then I'm just going to eat my lunch at like 4:05, I guess. Why not eat on stream? You'll laugh, but I actually consider it like low quality. Let's not say disrespectful, because you gotta eat, especially if you're doing long streams. But like, I think it's more respectful to plan your stream so you don't have to eat. You might say NL, but you eat on stream quite frequently. It's true, but in my defense, usually that happens for 2 reasons. One is I'm very hungry. The other one is Kate brings me some delicious food. In which case, like, not eating is a lot easier to do when you don't have the food in front of you. When you have the food in front of you, you gotta be like an incredible, like a monk to not eat it. Especially if she like DoorDashed you something delicious. Like, you're gonna let your meal go cold, or you can just take like a little bite, and then of course once you take one bite, it's all over. It's all over from that point onward. No, you don't need to worry about me. Like, I'm a normal person. Like, wait, I do appreciate that people are being nice, and they're just saying, like, you know, if you know, it's better to eat than to starve to death. And there's also definitely, like, food and mood are connected. That's why they're only one letter apart. But, like, I don't know. I think I'm just kind of an asshole. Like, when people tweet me things like, make sure you eat, make sure you, like, drink enough water. Did you drink enough water today? I'm like, yeah, I drank enough water. I'm 32 years old. I have a child. Like, I got those aspects of my life under control. I've been doing it for a long time. In fact, I always suggest, like, if my wife is like, I'm not feeling right today, I'm like, you gotta drink like 2 glasses of water. That's my rule. If you feel not good, drink 2 glasses of water, eat something, and then log off the internet for like 15 minutes and see how you feel. I also, and again, this is not going to win me any points in the popularity contest. Sometimes the memes around, like, don't forget to hydrate, it makes me feel, and this is like a very bad take, I acknowledge, but I'm like, we gotta demand more out of each other as a society than just the bare minimum level of, like, maintaining hydration. You know what I mean? Like, I get, you got a hard day, you still gotta hydrate. That's true. But at the same time, when people are like, you know, today wasn't a total waste, at least you stayed hydrated, I'm like, that's less than the bare minimum. You could have also, like, I get it, but you could have also, like, done one other thing. You could have also, like, vacuumed or something. I do wonder sometimes if it's like, yeah, if, like, the level of infantilization, and again, I'm not a mental health professional, and I trust people when they tell me, you know, how they feel, believe it or not. It's more when people are like, you know, they assume that, like, you know, you shouldn't, like, me personally, I shouldn't feel ashamed about my lack of maintenance over the day because at least I drank some water. I'm like, you save that tweet in the sack, give it to somebody else. I benefit more from a level of, I guess, tough love. That's like, hey, you really stunk it up today, lazy boy. Come back tomorrow and, you know, bring me something better. That's my take on the subject. But I find myself backed into the Giesling corner. Also known as when you have an outside take on an internet device, which is where you end up in the Giesling zone, where you forget that, like, you know, you have it easier than a lot of other people is what makes sense, I guess. You know, I'm approaching this from a position of privilege for sure. Let's leave it at that. I'm just saying, if you tweet me, did you drink enough water today, sweetie? I'm not gonna take it as well as you think I'm gonna take it. If you think I'm gonna reply, ooh, thanks so much, I almost forgot. You were mistaken. That's my take on it. By the way, if you tweet me that, for the next 2 hours, if you tweet me that, you'll get away with it. If you're watching this on VOD and you think it would be funny to tweet me that, I have probably forgotten this joke already, and I will likely be upset. But yeah, like, if you haven't had enough water, you should have enough water, for sure. But that should be the building block, in my opinion. I don't know, it's just, like, I get it. Because people are saying, like, NL, people are literally just showing, like, they care about you. It's true. But, like, when my mom does that, I'm like, I'm cool with it. Because it's my mom. Of course she's like my mom, she'll text me, like, irrational stuff all the time. Like, someone will get shot in Langley, which is like an hour and a half away, and she'll be like, don't go to Langley. And I'm like, well, I'm one step ahead of you. I ain't ever been. But I allow it because it's my mom. But when people who, like, you know, from the parasocial aspect, they're kind of like strangers to me, are overly concerned with... You're even... I mean, it is caring, but sometimes there's like a level of uncomfort with it, I guess, or discomfort. I'm like, don't worry about me. I got it under control. What if she texted that before the incident? That would... Now I would... That's a trolley problem. Would you narc on your mom if it seemed like she committed a violent crime? In principle, I definitely think the answer is yes. In practice, I'm like, I don't know. Like, my mom has always been very nice to me, very caring, very nurturing. Like, in my head, I'm like, she's kind of earned the level of, like, you know, hey, let's talk this out before I go to the police. I'm not saying I would cover up for her. All I'm saying is I would at least... I would talk to her first and be like, how did this happen? And then I would figure it out. I wouldn't go to the police immediately. If, like, an aunt murdered somebody and, like, or it seemed like she murdered somebody, I would go to the police right away. Wouldn't even send a text. My mom, on the other hand, I'd at least send her a text first. Quite honestly. What if it was another streamer? Oh, you have to go to the cops because it's, you know, you're removing some of your competition. Plus, like, the morals of it. But on the flip side, like... Okay. We can still make it. I'm hip. I'm with it. I still beat my previous time. What if it was Dan? I'm good friends with Dan. Dan brings, by the way, that energy that I need. Which is the energy of almost like, you know, being more driven, I guess. Mixing things up. That being said, I would report Daniel to the police. If he was like, hey, I shot somebody in cold blood. Yeah, I'd let the police know. If it was Josh, oh, I would let the police know. I'd probably let all the police know. Like, every department. No question. But Josh is, for the most part, I think Josh is too wholesome for murder. What if it was your daughter? See, that's a tough question. Right now, it's kind of an easy question to answer, I guess, because she's a baby. So, like, if she managed to shoot a gun, I would be like, oh my god, her grasping reflex is getting so strong. I'm so proud of you, sweetie. But, like, if she was a little older, you know, she's, like, adult age, I don't know, man, because it really is different. Like, I think there's a natural sort of skepticism that comes from, like, whenever parents are, like, you know, you love, like, your dog, obviously, but when you have a kid, like, it amps up to, like, a level that you would have previously thought, like, impossible. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, like, I don't want to say... Like, I don't... Is there, like, a hypothetical prison that you can go to? Like, if you're like, I would do illegal thing? Given the choice? Can you get held in, like, a psychic prison? But, I don't know. I think there is a chance, depending on the circumstances, where I could imagine being like, don't worry, I'll carry this to the grave with me for my daughter, for sure. Absolutely. Of course, in my head, I'm like, you know, I'm coming up with a situation where, like, you know, she's on the run from an abuser or something like that, and she, you know, she does something in self-defense. But even like that is almost like too easy to say yes to. If she committed like a cold-blooded murder, I don't know, man. Honestly, I'd have to put myself in the moment, in the situation, for sure. It's hard to answer. What I will say is I like won't answer yes or no. Because I'm being honest, you know, it'd be so much easier to just be like, yeah, I'm a staunch legalist, as you saw from the Moral Machine. But in reality, you know, I don't know. I don't know if I would. I don't know that I wouldn't, but I would definitely look at the situation for sure. Wonder if this is the secret. Like, that didn't go well, but I almost wonder if it might be. Are you gonna square up with other dads at Luna's school? It's a great question. I hope not. I don't think you, like... I don't know what kind of school environment you had. I didn't need to square up too much. Or I didn't need my dad to square up too much, I guess, as school. I kind of feel like the person you're most likely to have a grievance with as a parent is not other parents, but the teacher. Oh, come on, man. Like, I had a lot of very good teachers growing up, and I am not going to be one of those parents at all who's like, what the hell, you gave my kid a C? If she deserves a C, then so be it. You know? I respect that. But I also, like, in 6th grade, I had, like, a real trash teacher. My mom called him at home many times to basically just, like, berate him. And I thank her for it to this day. Hold on. We're still getting our Trackmania skills back. We gotta mix up the track. But we also, I'd love to get gold first. I mean, author medals are kind of beyond the scope of likelihood right now, but golds, come on, man. Like, we're talking about golds, not the author medal, which I love, you know, which I dedicated my life to. We're just talking about golds. Done. Hit me with the next map. Honestly, I think the game looks pretty good on my end. I don't... you know what? It does look a little fuzzy, actually. Macros, it does look a little fuzzy. So you open up the tick box here. And you uncheck automatic. And then let's make sure we're on, like, the highest level. Oh. Oh my god, look at the albedo. Now we're talking. I saw, Jay, that you said, what if it's a Canucks player? What if it's Ho Borvat? I would definitely rap them out. Also, Adam Goddett, he doesn't reply to my tweets. I don't know, like, I feel like Stan from the Eminem song of the same name. Adam Goddett is a Canucks center and also an aspiring Twitch streamer who plays, like, a lot of Call of Duty Warzone. And I always tweet him, like, hey, you drink enough water, Adam? I always tweet him, like, nice things. I'm always like, hey, hope you had a great stream today. By the way, you're going to crush it this year in the league. And I just, like, have never had even a wafer-thin slice of interaction. Not a single piece of dopamine. Oh. Left on read over and over. It's your biggest fan. This is Stan. DM's gone cold. Well, I can't send DMs. He's not following. Anyway, I'm not trying to be weird about it. Like, it's his life. I'm just saying. That's a goal? I thought that would be like an author medal. It's pretty easy. Top 2 BC. Yeah, maybe he's got me muted because he was like, who's this loser? Oh, there you go. Yeah, I gotta buy him some gift subs. You know what? I do believe that he signed like a $700,000 or $800,000 a year contract this year, so I think I'm going to keep my gift subs in my pocket, actually. I do wish him the best, don't get me wrong. That's a tree. Does this seem fair to you? It's pretty fair. I mean, like, he's a professional athlete. I'm not saying that they necessarily deserve a lot of money, in like a utilitarian sense. But, like, in the whole scheme of things, NHL players, they don't really, I mean, fourth-line NHL players, third-line NHL players, they don't really make that much compared to, like, the NBA, the NFL, etc., etc. I'm not going to be mad that, like, especially, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying people give professional athletes, like, too much shit. Or, like, oh, professional athletes have, like, the hardest lives out there. Because I don't believe that that's true. They're very well compensated. But I am also, at the same time, I'm like, if you're, like, a fourth liner in the NHL, if you look at the stats, like, their average career length is, like, maybe 5 or 6 years. And then maybe also they get a couple years of making, like, an average salary in, like, the AHL or something like that. Like, they, it's not like they're crushing it. They're crushing it by normie standards while their career is going. But then they also have to prepare for the fact that they, will probably be, like, a real estate agent or selling insurance in a few years, possibly. Not that there's anything wrong with those. I'm just saying, like, a lot of the people are, coming out of the league and then having to transition to something else when they might not necessarily have, like, a college degree, and, their whole life up to that point was about hitting a rubberized disc on the ice. Plus, they take a lot of heat from people that's kind of, like, unfair. Like, if the puck, like, bounces over their stick at an important moment, they'll get, like, 1,000 death threats. Whether they're making a ton of money or, like, league minimum. So, I'm not saying they have it unfair. I'm merely suggesting I don't think, not everybody's in the same boat. Like, Connor McDavid, he's doing fine, Probably, don't tweet him nasty things, but he's doing okay, but... That's just Canucks fans. Dude, we do have a bad fan base. I'm willing to it. I love the team. I love the city. But we do have an insane fan base, I'll admit. Probably one of the worst fan bases in the NHL. Maybe not the worst. I have no steering. I have steering? I think... Oh, no steering again. Yeah, like... Canadians fans, and I used to be one. Toronto fans. And it's partly a product of media. It's partly a product of being very... Like, the two most popular teams in Canada. Etc., etc. They're in the running as well. I feel like Ottawa and Winnipeg fans are pretty chill. As a Vancouver fan, I have a personal bias against Calgary fans, because whenever Calgary and Vancouver play, it always becomes like a debate about politics instead of merely being about, hitting the rubberized disc on the ice. It's always like, I don't like Calgary, and they're like, I don't like Vancouver, and you're like, well, yeah, well, at least, oil doesn't come out of my bathroom sink, and they're like, yeah, at least the house isn't $1 trillion, it's only like 800 billion. It's a whole thing. Anyway. Sports, who cares? Gotta love them. Dan posted an eggplant photo. Man, I still gotta, like, go to the grocery store and get the eggplant. I shouldn't have agreed. Like, it's obviously a not a hobby, a punishment that fits the crime of not being able to do what we want to do in Spelunky 2. But I really should have thought harder about the eggplant punishment when we agreed to it, because it's like I really don't want to go to the grocery store, not out of laziness, but like, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, it's a public health concern. It is to an extent. It's mostly just like, it's a level of risk I'd rather not assume for such a minor benefit. I could get it delivered, I guess, but I've never used like Instacart or our local, you know, like grocery stores delivery. Like right now we get like the Blue Apron stuff, and Kate gets like this Korean food. And that pretty much, that covers like almost all of our dinners weekly. And we get the lunches delivered from that service that I was talking about. And I just eat granola bars for breakfast. So we're talking about like, you know, I have not had to go to the grocery store for a while. Sometimes I've chosen to, but I've been trying to keep it on the DL during the pandemic. Baby food? Let me hit you with something pretty wild. That stuff just comes straight out of the tap. Not water. I mean, like, you know, she just drinks breast milk. I actually don't remember when babies actually start eating baby food. But it's not for at least like 6 months, I think. Four to 5 years? No. I mean, you could probably have them still breastfeeding for that long if you wanted to, which some people do, but certainly you want to have them eating some solid food well before that. Or go to a kid's birthday party. Oh, pizza? I don't eat pizza. Do you have any breast milk? I don't want to condemn my kid to a lifetime of being made fun of for that. Hey. I have 3 kids and I've never bought baby food? Are you doing you're making your own baby food at home by like just blending up or cutting up fruits and vegetables? I mean, it's not like baby food is like it's not like it's the only food that babies can eat, you know? They like, it's just a very convenient source of baby-appropriate food. It's not like it's not like a car where if you accidentally put in like diesel instead of gas or vice versa, it just explodes. I hope. That's why I was thinking we'll have our baby probably, like my aspiration for her is that she'll be the youngest baby to do the 1-chip challenge. Get her started off right. I want to make sure she's a chili head. A lot of money to be made in those pepper eating contests. Bro, who put that there? Have the video go viral? Exactly. World's worst parents arrested after feeding child 4 million Scoville potato chip. This goes back into something that I have said many times. Life is very unfair as a streamer because you actually can't make any mistakes that would ever lead to you being on the news because everyone is gonna just go in on you. No matter what you do, if something you do ever makes it on the news as a negative, you're fucked. Self-entitled pseudo-celebrity you've never heard of does bad thing? Like it's a recipe for badness. The flip side is you could do some truly heinous things and you would still have like a fan base. It would be smaller, but you would still have a fan base that's like, I don't care, I support him. So I guess, you know, you take the bad with the bad. Is there a cool shortcut there? Was that a shortcut? Anyway, we don't need to go into it. That being said, check out my new website. It's a Binding of Isaac casino. Frick. I will still support you even if your baby fails the one-chip challenge. Yo! Let's go. That's called ride or die, as Bear Taffy said earlier. Hello, if you're still here, by the way, Bear. I didn't mean to not respond to the message. I was on my own beam. Okay, we're going. And if you're not still here, that's fine too. I'm sure you're doing, you're doing what you gotta do. Enjoy your New Year's Day. So close. Do you think that your baby could eat more nuggets than you? Absolutely not. Not even close. More than Apollo? Maybe. This baby, like, she doesn't have that much of an appetite. That being said, she eats all the time, but she probably only eats, like, I don't know, like 400 calories a day or something like that, right? It's crazy. I'd be starving. Wonder how she does it. Oh, it's because she doesn't work for a living. That explains it. If you're watching this later, sweetie, I'm joking, okay? This is how daddy makes the diaper money. Willfully misrepresenting things for a laugh. And then 95% of people understand it's a joke, 5% of people get very upset. Very upset indeed. I thought that was going to be a gold. It's true, there's a certain amount of freedom that comes from knowing that the VODs are going to get deleted by me in June again. I got to put that on in my text document. June 30th. Delete VODs. Yeah, like if you gave me a challenge to eat like X number of calories a day, I mean, let's assume first off that like the answer of what you could eat is a high number. What you should eat is obviously not that high, but not as high as the number of what you could eat. But I bet I could have like a 10,000 calorie day and still like not throw up. 10K's easy? I did think about, like, sometimes in university, like, it's crazy. You would have, like, a normal day in university, so let's say you ate, like, 1,500 calories by, like, dinner time, and then you would, like, go out, and you would, I don't know, drink, like, too many beers, which are, like, maybe 200 calories each. You drink, like, a whole day's calories of beers, and then after you like left the bar, like at the bar you might have like nachos or something, so add that on. Then you would like leave the bar and be like, we gotta stop at McDonald's on the way home. You stop at McDonald's, you would eat like 2 full people's meals from McDonald's. Then like after 4 months of doing this multiple times a week, you get like a little bit of a paunch and you're like, what the hell, I'm getting old. Must be getting old. I'm starting to generate a little bit of fat in the midsection. My metabolism's cramping out on me. Yeah, freshman 15 must be stressed. Okay, just hold it. Just hold it. We didn't hold it. Dude, okay, that's called staying on target. F. What's the most calories per gram you can get? Probably like crude petroleum. Taken straight out of the earth. Uranium? Uranium, okay, that makes sense. Wait, what about tritium? Dr. Ock said it was the power of the sun in a single ball or something, a single atom. Lembas bread? What about your mom? Hey, Malf, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate that, Malf. Thanks so much. Always coming in to say nice things. Scientists who live in Antarctica have to eat 6,000 to 7,000 calories a day to maintain their weight. Dude, that's sick. So if you ever want to lose weight, you should just move to Antarctica. Because you could still eat like 2 full Big Mac meals a day and lose weight so easily. They should start organizing like some Weight Watchers field trips to Antarctica. You might have to bring your own McDonald's, but still. Do you think there's a McDonald's in Antarctica? There must be. How else are people in STEM supposed to feed themselves? Votes to the left, by the way. The joke doesn't even really make sense. There actually is. See, I told you. Do you think, like, they are the coolest McDonald's worker? Like, if they ever have to go to, like, a corporate retreat or something like that? Oh, yeah. I worked the drive-thru. Oh, yeah, me too. In Antarctica! People are like, what? That's crazy. We actually call it a sled-through. You're gonna think I stole that from chat. That's a great minds think alike moment. I will say, I know it's like an insurance risk, but if I were president of the world, I would make it illegal for it to be illegal to not be able to walk through the drive-thru. It discriminates against people that don't own cars. Here, it's like if you went to the McDonald's drive-thru here, they would not let you order if you walked up. 100%. Like if you walked up to, if you went in the lane as a walker, they would not let you order. They would tell you to get out. They might even like call the cops or something if you refuse to move. It's dangerous? I don't know, just don't hit anybody. I mean, I guess his forehead, but you know what I mean. I think you should be able to walk through the drive-thru. No, I've seen it done. I've seen people try to walk through the drive-thru in Vancouver, and like the McDonald's employees just shut the window on them until they walk away. I'm literally 100% being honest. Now, the other thing is, I'm always glad when they do it, because usually they don't, like, for some reason pedestrians that go through the drive-thru don't feel like they wait in line. Like, they just walk up to the window and try to order, and I'm like, buddy, there's a system. You gotta go order from that weird, like, talk box back there. Just go inside. Sometimes the restaurant leaves the drive-thru open all night, but they close the actual restaurant during the night because it gets a little spicy in there. I will say, though, after this lap, I'm gonna go get some water and a granola bar. Here, I'm gonna run some advertisements. I'll be back in 1 minute. I am actually gonna eat on stream a little bit. See you in a moment. See, I told you I could handle it. Big sip. You gotta love it, man. Did you get nut through from the granola bar? I'm going to assume you mean nut throat. Sometimes I do, actually. Usually it takes like 10 minutes to manifest, though. So if you hear me cough and sputter recently, or post henceforth from this, get ready. You know what I'm talking about. Wrap or sandwich meta for streams. Well, the thing is, like, we have these lunches that are, they're basically like pre-cooked, right? Wraps definitely refrigerate better than sandwiches. If you're gonna do like a meal prep sort of thing, meal prep sandwiches don't make sense to me just because of the bread. But the wraps, actually, they handle it pretty well. But the best, dude, I was talking about this in pre-chat yesterday. But like, I really feel like rice is not my favorite starch. But I feel like it's the starch that reheats the best. Like microwaved rice, like maybe you have some leftovers or something, and then you microwave it for lunch the next day. It takes really well. Like it's almost like drying it out. I mean, I get this is how fried rice is typically made anyway, but like drying it out in the fridge a little bit and then heating it up later, dude, it reheats so well. Here's a controversial take. Maybe rice is a good food to eat. Not sure if anybody's thought of that before. Might be the first person to have come up with this. I do routinely, like, we eat a lot of Korean food. I will routinely eat Korean food without rice, though. Even though Kate, it boggles her mind. It's like sometimes, you'll have a meal that's like bulgogi, which is like it's like marinated and then pan-fried beef. And then like some rice in a rice bowl on the side. And then, some kimchi as well. I'll just have like bulgogi and kimchi. Doesn't bother me. Maybe a little rice. I'll have like enough for like 1 spoonful of rice, and then I'm good. Yeah, it's not like, here's the thing. I'm not really adhering to the keto lifestyle. Like, I've also been, consuming quite a lot of, like, Kate's been buying these, I'm just hesitant to describe them. Kate's been buying these cream puffs. I've never been much of a dessert guy, but they're delicious. They're like, I don't even know what to say. They're like, it's like a bread outside, and then it's filled with, like, some sweet cream, but the cream is also like flavored and such. Like there's like a s'more cream puff that's delicious. There's a salted caramel one, and they're freaking huge, right? Like they're enormous. So I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I don't like to eat rice because it's empty calories, and then also be like, oh yeah, I'm having like a cream puff a night, because I'm pretty sure those are like 600 or 700 calories each. They are truly enormous. But the thing is, I like the taste of the cream puffs. I don't really like the taste of the rice, to be honest. Like, just rice, I'm not really down with it. Obviously, like, if I'm having some kind of, like, stir-fried situation, I'd like some rice as well, but... Like, typically, the way that it's served in Korean-style cuisine is that you have, like, a main dish, which will be, like, some kind of like sauteed meat or something like that, with maybe some julienne vegetables in it. And then you have like a bowl of rice on the side. And then you maybe got like a little bowl of soup on the side and some kimchi and some other side dishes. And then you like take the meat and you sort of like put it on the rice. and then you pick up the meat with it and the rice with the chopsticks, and you put it in your mouth, and you're like, you know, I get it, but I don't know. I just kind of prefer it without the rice most of the time. Obviously, like if you're ordering like a, you know, like a bibimbap or a bokkeumbap or something like that, is a different story, but. And it would be different, like, if rice was good for you. But because it's, like, not, I don't feel any need to kind of change, if that makes sense. Again, I'm not anti-rice. I'm just not, like, I'm not excessively pro-rice. And I will say, of all the, like, it's not even really, like, an anti-rice thing. I forgot this course goes longer. It's more of like I like Mexican rice. I like basmati rice. I don't necessarily love like short grain East Asian style rice by itself, I guess. That's kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. Okay, this, we're gripping it and ripping it. We're losing some Trackmania momentum. We're getting great banter topics, but we're losing Trackmania momentum. What about arboreal? Dude, I love a risotto. Absolutely. I do love a risotto. And we've done this debate before, but if we're doing bread, potatoes, or pasta, I am, yes please, I am probably potatoes, then bread, then pasta. I'm more pro pasta than I used to be. And by the way, new year, new me, I'm not apologizing for my pronunciations anymore. But definitely, like, I always, given the choice, I will always prefer potatoes in this one. And then bread, I don't know, like it's baked inside of my genetic code. I love bread. Even like flavorless bread, if you just gave me like a bowl of flavorless breadcrumbs, I would be like, I mean, it's not great, but yeah, I want to eat it. There we go. Better. You got to counter steer. Now, the irony, or maybe the thing that will surprise you, despite not being ironic at all, of the carbohydrate groups, I definitely eat the most rice, followed by pasta, followed by potatoes, and then bread basically never. Very rarely. Mostly because I haven't been to the grocery store lately. That was a good run, though. That was a good run. All right. There's no next course? Oh, we got to go into like a new column or something? Non? That's... now you're speaking my language. I was losing it when I was talking about like Indian food with some friends of mine, and Malf was there. It was in our other group chat, and I was like, man, Indian food is like pretty expensive in Vancouver. Like dinner for two, and it's in Canadian dollars, but dinner for two. Let's say you got two entrees that are like, you know, just let's call it a curry or a tikka masala or a butter chicken or something like that. You know, a Rogan Josh or, you know, an aloo gobi or a chana masala or something like that. Anyway, you get the idea. You know, you're probably looking at like $15 each. So that takes you to 30. You add in like one order of basmati rice. You know, it's probably like another $35. But then, like, come on, you're not gonna get naan. The naans are like, you know, $3 each, and you need one each, like minimum. So now you're up to $41. And then, you know, let's say you want to, you know, because you don't get Indian food that often. I mean, you got to consider some of those delicious appetizers, right? Like maybe some pakora, or maybe, I don't know what you're into, but you get the idea. Maybe some kind of paneer, maybe some onion bhaji, and so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh yeah, you get a couple of papadums, and then you're like, okay, oh, and then, yeah, don't forget the donuts. You got to get the gulab jamun at the end, and then like, oh, and I'll take a mango lassi as well. And then you're like, by the end of it, you're like, what the hell is this, like $200? But anyway, so like when Kate and I order Indian food, we get 2 entrees, rice, 2 naan, and papadum. If I'm starving, I'll throw some pakora on top of it, but that's my own fault. It's probably like $70 for 2 people. But then one of my friends was like, oh, it's pretty cheap here. And then we were going over our order, and he's like, oh yeah, I never order naan. And I was like, you go to the Indian restaurant, you never order naan? I didn't even know such a thing was possible. That's not like 100% of the reason that I'm there, but that's like, it's a part of it for sure. It's a big part of it. Someone asked, do you like more North Indian food or South Indian food? I don't know the answer. Here's what I will say though. I like whichever one is more associated with dosa that are the size of an entire plate. Yo, Gotham. Thank you for the very generous raid. And the salute emote. We're playing a car-based video game now. It's a little bit like chess in that it's you play as a person who is controlling mechanisms, and it takes place on a plane for the most part, much like chess. It takes place almost on a 2-dimensional plane. Positioning's important, and if you make a mistake, you're toast. With a steering wheel that won't go fly out my window while I am driving, etc., etc. What happened on Gotham's stream today? Let me guess, he played chess. Good one. How'd you know? Dude, I don't even want to tell you how bad my chess has been lately. Like, if you watch the one that went up today, it was bad. You should still watch. It's like entertaining, but I lost a lot. But then like the one that I recorded today is like even worse. I think I'm going through like a chess regression. But sometimes you've got to regress to progress, you know? Go back to Ludo. Anyway, so yeah, as we were saying, I like South Indian food more, I suppose. But then I also like what type of cuisine does onion bhaji come from? Is that British Indian cuisine? Because like all of my hometown's restaurants sell onion bhaji. No Indian restaurant I have ever been to in Vancouver sells onion bhaji. It's like it's an unknown concept. I'm sure there are some, but it's like one of the appetizers, perhaps like the most common appetizer in my hometown, does not exist out here. I don't know what to say. I miss those delicious little battered onion balls. Not enough to do like a very simple Google search to find out where they're selling them, but You know, just in general. I miss them. Like, if they had them in front of me right now, I'd be stoked. Oh, dude, we gotta pivot to the coin game soon. Alright, let's gold here and then move on. I want to get some of that Freddy Fazbear arcade action. Oh. Yeah, the coin game is it's a Dave and Buster's simulator. So all of your favorite arcade games, including go-karting, exist within the coin game. I'm not sure that I would call it good, if that makes sense. I certainly don't think it could be called bad, but is it like the sort of thing that appeals to people en masse? I would say no, but I will say if you're like heavily into those kind of games, it's probably like the best game in the universe for you. Bro, my wheels. Like, I think if you're buying what it's selling, you're buying a lot of it. But you don't have to buy a lot of it because you can just play the coin game. Also, the last time I played the coin game was like January 2020, when I was like, man, maybe I'll just go to an arcade instead of playing this. It turns out it's the game we needed. 2020's game of the year. The coin game. Followed by Deadly Premonition 2. Extremely Bugs Bunny voice no. I've been doing that all the time. I don't think Kate appreciates it. But whenever I say no, I don't say just no anymore. I go no. Which isn't even really how Bugs Bunny sounds, but it's how he sounds when he says that in my head. By the way, I forget what I was talking about, right? Like, what video I was talking about it in. But I really do, I have a social media New Year's resolution. I think that I need to, every time there is a new big meme, I need to do a edit of the meme template to make it about me so we can all have a laugh and reinforce the culture of Northern Lion laughing. You know? I think I need to insert myself into every meme. The problem is, because of real world BS, there has been like, the last 6 months or so have been so low on memes. You know, like, there's the one where the guy's in the corner at the party. But I don't think there's been another big meme since then. There was, like, Pablo Pascal. There's Nutthroat. I told you. I told you we could get Nutthroat. It just takes 15 minutes. That's why you're supposed to leave some water. The granola's revenge. Twisted Tea is big right now. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Twisted Tea meme. 23 Mitch McConnell memes. Twitter users react as Senator rejects $2,000 stimulus check. Video shows man being hit with can of Twisted Tea after spouting racial slurs while at Elyria convenience store. Is that it? Yeah, I'm probably not going to watch that one like on stream, but you know, maybe I'll watch it off stream and then I'll try to make a relevant meme that inserts me, because it's all about me at the end of the day. I haven't seen this. The one that I watched yesterday that I wanted to link to Mouth, but he was live, so I didn't want to, you know, basically, like, it's one thing to go like, hey, watch this funny thing to your friends when they're not doing anything, but when they're streaming, it's got to be really funny. But the one that I watched yesterday was the one of the guy who's at like a knife store, and he goes, "Do you mind if I snap it open?" And the clerk goes like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then he goes like, he snaps it open, and then he goes like, and then he walks away a little bit, and he goes like, and then he like snaps it back, and he goes like, "That's a lot of knife for $59." That I liked that video a lot. That was a good one. Oh baby, we might actually make it to the end of the course. Where'd you find that? Somebody, Barstool Sports tweeted it. I don't follow Barstool Sports, but somebody that I follow must follow Barstool Sports. And the caption was, "John Wick has been real quiet since this video came out." And I was like, of course I gotta click it. So I clicked it. Barstool Sports is a sports media network that is constantly steeped in controversy, like 24/7, which is fine, but is, you know, it's not for me. Yeah, that's their brand, exactly. They court controversy, let's put it that way. They tweet 100 times an hour. How do I find the tweet? Look, I don't know, man. Just Google. That's a lot of, and this is verbatim. That's a lot of knife. John Wick's been real quiet since this came out. Knife shop, mall ninja. Like, just put all those terms in there, and then the only thing Google will be able to come up with is the relevant video. First result, see? I know how to talk to search engines, I just don't know how to talk to people. You just overwhelm them with keywords. Like with a search engine, it's like Swiss cheese, right? Like you only want, you're basically, it's just a filter on everything that exists in the world. So all you're doing is designing a piece of Swiss cheese that only allows the things you want to come through. So every keyword or key phrase is just a hole in the Swiss cheese that goes onto the filter. Are you following me? Motherfucking Josh gosh gotta. Sorry, I've been thinking a lot about the Christmas Story lately. Not A Christmas Story. Wait, no, that's Home Alone! That's right. My mistake. Dude, I like that Home Alone 2 rant. People have been like so positive about it. They've been like, it's one of the funniest bits you've ever done. It's not me. It's the movie. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, like, cause it's so fucked up that Kevin McAllister, he has no reason to terrorize the sticky bandits. I'm not gonna go off round 2. I just don't understand, and we're just pivoting to the coin game here, but I don't understand why he doesn't just call the police, you know? Instead, he actually commits an act of vandalism to the toy store and then commits just aggressive acts of violence. Why doesn't he wait for the police to arrive 3 hours later? Yo, it's a toy store. You know, like, if they rob the toy store, who cares? It's not like I know I talked about this in the well, 1 second. Arcade Simulator 2021. All right. I know I talked about it in the video, but like for real, Kevin McAllister basically commits 2 acts of murder because they robbed the toy store. And they robbed the charity money from the toy store. Like, I'm not saying they're good guys. Later on in the movie, they put the gun against Kevin McAllister's forehead. And Joe Pesci says, I never made it out of the 6th grade, kid, and looks like you won't neither. They're obviously bad people. But this is why we have a system of laws. You know, if somebody robs a store that you're unaffiliated with, you don't get to just electrocute them so hard that they turn into a skeleton. All right, so I got